Really? You put that there? Okay. Oh, my, hello. I didn't see you there. This is what happens when you get a college student who's an English major to read a book about a college student who's an English major who finds herself swept away in a whirlwind full of BDSM. Basically, the book gets torn apart. One thing that I should also address is that I will be rather explicit in my video review, meaning I will be swearing a lot because that's just how I express myself. And considering this is a very expressive novel, if you don't like the way that I am reviewing it, well then you can fucking go suck a cock, basically. Now, before any of you get too concerned, I found this at Goodwill. I just happened to stumble upon it, really. So all I wasted was 89 cents and way too much of my free time. Let's get started. Let us begin with the unrealistic characterization of Anastasia Steele. Now, being a virgin myself, I'm okay with putting that out there. And I would just like to say that the way she presents herself as a virgin is extremely unrealistic. The expectations and considering the circumstances that she does endure, how she responds to them is not typical and does not reflect her sexual state. She has zero sexual experience to such a degree. For example, page 48, she says, "And for the first time in 21 years, I want to be kissed. I want to feel his mouth on mine." That's a lie. That's just a lie. I'm sorry, did you reach puberty maybe like 4 months ago? Cause guess what? You want to get kissed probably at earliest like when you're fucking 10. You crush on people probably starting in middle school. In early high school, that's when you start being like, oh my god, he's cute, or wow, I wonder what boys taste like, or not, I meant on the mouth. But you start wondering that a lot earlier than, I don't know, your 20s. How do you go your entire adolescence being like, oh, it's fine, I've never dated anyone before, and I've never kissed anyone before, and you know what, that's fine because I have school to attend to, and I have other more important things in my life. No! This line in itself doesn't make sense. And then that sets up the rest of the characterization of her sexual experience as extremely impossible. You just cannot fathom it. Let's go further into the mind of Anastasia. Now this doesn't make any sense to me. Page 104. How many women? I blurt out the question. I'm so curious. 15. Oh. Not as many as I thought. Not as many as you thought? This guy's like 27 and he's been with over 15 women? That's so excessive. Like, as a virgin, that should be like, whoa, warning sign. Maybe we're playing on 2 different ballpark fields. Like, maybe we're in 2 different worlds. You know, I've never had sex, and this guy's clearly experienced. Furthermore, we find out later that it's not 15 girls, it's 15 girls in the Red Room of Pain. So he's been with more women, more than 15. Let's go a little bit deeper. So on page 114, in case you're following along, there is the scene in which Christian and Anastasia get together for the first time. I'd call it making love or fucking, but honestly, it's neither of those. Holy shit, his words, he's so seductive, he takes my breath away. Show me how you pleasure yourself. What? I frown. Don't be coy, Anna. Show me, he whispers. I shake my head. I don't know what you mean. How do you make yourself come? I want to see. I shake my head. I don't. I mumble. I'm sorry, you've never masturbated before? Bitch is lying! That's a lie, okay? Page 117. Arg! I cry as I feel a weird pinching sensation deep inside me as he rips through my virginity. Ow! I annotate my books, even shitty books, I apologize. So, at the bottom I write, should they have put down a towel? Because they didn't. They didn't. And everyone's just okay with that. Also unrealistic, she just happens to be a natural at oral. Great! I'm so glad she has that. Fucking, page like 136. I'm not gonna read any of this. Not again. Okay, I think this will help lead to a nice transition into the next point that I want to talk about. Page 355. He's not a hero. He's a man with serious, deep emotional flaws, and he's dragging me into the dark. Can I not guide him into the light? Okay, listen here, sweet cheeks. Just because someone's into bondage doesn't mean they're in the darkness, okay? I have a couple of friends who are into bondage. Does that mean they're horrible people? Does that mean that they've had fucked up pasts? No. It's just a preference. Like, it's not light versus dark. It's more like, oh, do you like salt as a seasoning or do you like chili peppers kind of too? Like, it's just a different taste. Like, it doesn't make someone a bad person because they like bondage. I shrug, trapped. I don't want to lose him. In spite of all his demands, his need to control, his scary vices, I've never felt so alive as I do now. Girl, you went from not wanting to kiss someone, like only just wanting to kiss someone for the first time in your life, to a month later, like being into like putting weird metal balls up your vagina and like, I don't know, like keg weights or whatever the fuck they're called. Like, that's way too fast of an advance. Like, that's not logically how someone would act. Oh, that's another thing too. Like, she just graduated college. She's just looking for a job. And now she's like just getting sexual. She would be like exploding on the inside from anxiety. Like, there are so many changes going on in her life that it doesn't make sense that she's even standing. That's so much to juggle. What I really want to analyze, honestly, from a literary perspective, is the lack of culture in this book. Now, perhaps it's incongruent for me to be analyzing a work of entertainment from a canonizing perspective, but I still think it should be pointed out because I feel like these are important topics that need to be addressed within this book, because it is still a book. So, first problem. E.L. James is a British writer, and the story takes place in Seattle, Washington, U.S., United States, and there's no American culture. I'm sorry, the language in this book is very posh, it's very British. It doesn't feel American. American! First page, first 2 sentences, you can see it. I scowl with frustration at myself in the mirror. Damn my hair, it just won't behave. And damn Catherine Kavanagh for being ill and subjecting me to this ordeal. Oh, because every American speaks like that. And every 21-year-old girl, too, is going to be like, oh, well, damn my hair, and oh, my roommate's ill. Guess what? We call it being sick, or we call it vomiting, or, I don't know, being a disgusting mess. I don't know who her editor was, but if they were American, they did a fucktastic job of changing the language to sound American. What she should have done is gotten an American editor to say, hey, here's how to normalize the word choice that you're using so it doesn't sound like a British woman writing about America, because that's what it sounds like. Oh, this one's my favorite. Page 8. Actually, I mutter, if this guy's over 30, then I'm a monkey's uncle. I'm sorry, you're 21 years old. You're saying monkey's uncle? Monkey's uncle. My parents don't say monkey's uncle. They're over 50. Can you not? Can you just not? 69. I want him badly. Simple fact. For the first time in my life, I want to go to bed with a man. Yes, I reassure her. I'm really hungry. Shall I cook? I don't know. Shall you? Page 161. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this with fucking every single goddamn quotation. Cause I'm an English major. The only man I've ever been attracted to, and he comes with a bloody contract. Page 176. A bloody contract? I'm sorry, you're referring to your virginity and how you bloodied his sheets. Because guess what? We don't say bloody like, oh, bugger. Oh, fucking hell. No one says that. No one says that in America. We don't say that. We don't do it. Hey, Annie, I'm pleased to see you too. You're never pleased to see anyone. You say, I'm happy to see you. Or, I missed you, kiddo. No, I'm pleased to see you. Oh, so glad to make your acquaintance. It just sounds so posh. I make my way to seat among fellow students whose surnames also begin with S. Guess what? Americans call them last names, okay? Wow, Ethan, how lovely to see you. Dad, this is Ethan. Lovely to see you? How nice to see you. It's great to see you. Those just sound more genuine. You know, for an English major, she doesn't really have a lot of English references. I'm sorry, if this were truly a woman who has been studying for the past 4 years, all different types of English literature, from Shakespeare to Anglo-Norman, Anglo-Saxon works such as like Beowulf or Margaret Kemp, you know, she would be throwing out references up the wazoo. Like it would be boggled down with intelligence. And instead she just references like some French novel like Tess. I don't know, that's how much I care about it. If she references it like 3 times, like he buys her original copies of it. That's fucking awesome. Like, that's pretty cool. She should be just throwing out literary references, because that's kind of what English majors do. We're nerds. If she's such a nerd over Jane Austen and saying like, oh, what would other female protagonists do in this situation? Oh, I don't know. No, you haven't been reading enough then. You know, you should have so many references to Pride and Prejudice that I'm like drowning in the symbolism, but you don't. You don't, Anastasia. You're just talking about Christian's impressive length. Fucking... Now, one thing that I should also draw attention to is how much she drinks champagne. I'm sorry, but college students, we don't drink champagne. Personally, I don't drink. But there's all this mention of champagne and wine. But no beer, no vodka, no rum chata, no body shots, no kegs. Basically, there's no element of college life going on in here. For example, on page 53, I told you I'd be legit with this. On page 53, Anastasia writes, "It's Friday, and we shall be celebrating tonight." Really celebrating. I might even get drunk. I've never been drunk before. Congratulations. You're graduating from college and you've never been drunk before. So that's unrealistic. That's just, no. But they just always fucking drink champagne. All they drink is champagne. My apologies. They do go to the bar and have margaritas on page 56. It just sounds like the pussiest shit ever. Chapter 22. I am manicured, massaged, and I've had 2 glasses of champagne. The fucking champagne again. The first class lounge has many redeeming features. I'm sorry, have you ever flown first class? Like, shit, this sounds like a private jet, bitch. And then in an email she sends them on page 394. However, I like traveling first class. It's so much more civilized than coach. Civilized? Are we savages? Are we not men? Like, she's like, oh, it's so much more civilized than coach. Like, it's a plane. It's a plane. Like, you can be like, it was great not to have to listen to annoying fucking babies crying all the way. But you wouldn't say civilized? Like, this isn't going from a 3rd world country to a 1st world country. It's an airplane. Damn. Now I would like to address some very, actually kind of racist comments in the book. So, I would like to analyze the character of Jose Rodriguez. Now, let's first start off with that you have a Hispanic character named Jose Rodriguez. Really? Really? If you're going to give him such a dense name with so much culture behind it, then you should at least show a lot more culture within him. I have a Hispanic friend. Do you want to know what her name is? Jessica. It's not Maria or Lupe or fucking Guadalajara. It's Jessica. She has a Hispanic last name, but guess what? Like, she doesn't speak Spanish. She understands it. She's been studying Chinese. But if you're going to use language like this, Anna. He smiles his dazzling, toothy, all Hispanic American smile. I can't be angry with him anymore. Great. Thank you for saying all Hispanic Americans smile. I don't, when I write, say, oh, I love those dazzling, all Caucasian, 100% European mutt mix eyes. Like, you don't do that. All Hispanic illegal immigrants smile? No, like, you wouldn't say that as an alternative. Like, that's just kind of racist word choicing. And while we're on racist word choicing, I dog tag this page. Jose has stock character phrases. Like, when E.L. James inserts dialogue from the Hispanic perspective, so when she inserts Spanish into the conversation between Ana and Jose, she's fucking racist. She's racist. Please, Ana, cariño. Cariño? That's all you're gonna say? Like, you say cariño, the next page he says, ugh, Dios mío, Ana. So that's all the Spanish we as a reader find out that he knows. So apparently all he knows is cariño and Dios mío. It just feels like Jose's character was unnecessarily Hispanic. Like, there was no cultural significance as to him being Hispanic. There was no reason why the author chose for him to be Hispanic. And by choosing to make her character Hispanic, she had a set of expectations to live up to and to uphold, so as to not disregard his culture or his race or his ethnicity, and to properly display him as a convincing Hispanic character. But instead, it feels like minstrel shows where it's just a white person dressing up as black. And it's like, oh, well, he looks black because he's wearing makeup that makes him black. So then you can disregard that his culture is being mocked, and like minstrel shows were used to mock black culture. And use black stereotypes. That's just what it feels like to me.